Welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever really stopped to think about what holds a drop of water together? Or, for that matter, what keeps you from just falling right through the floor? Well, today, we're going to explore the invisible architecture that actually makes our world solid and wet and, well, even alive. So let's start with a question you've probably never really thought to ask about something you see every single day. What is actually holding a drop of water together? Why does it form that perfect little bead on a leaf instead of just spreading out, well, forever? The answer lies in this set of invisible rules that basically dictates how all molecules interact with each other. These rules are the reason that ice is a solid, water is a liquid, and steam is a gas. And today, we're going to make them visible. So, this invisible architecture, it's built by something that chemists call intermolecular forces, or, IMFs for short. Think of them as a kind of molecular magnetism that's always pulling molecules together. These forces are in a constant tug of war with temperature. When the forces win, you get a solid. When the temperature wins, you get a gas. And when it's kind of a draw, well, that's when you get a liquid, like water. Okay, a quick but really important distinction here. We are not talking about the super strong bonds inside a single water molecule, the ones holding the hydrogens to the oxygen. Those are called intramolecular forces. What we're focusing on are the much weaker, gentler forces between one water molecule and its neighbor. All right, let's dive into our first and most fundamental force. It exists between all molecules, and it's called the London dispersion force. Let's see how this thing builds. Okay, picture the electrons around a molecule like a swarm of bees. They're just constantly buzzing around, right? Well, just by random chance, for a fraction of a second, more bees might be on one side of the hive. This creates this tiny temporary imbalance, a flicker of negative charge. And that flicker can then cause the bee swarm in the molecule next door to shift too, creating this brief, weak little attraction between them. And here's the key takeaway. Every single molecule experiences these forces. It's the reason that even things with no permanent charge, like, say, the helium in a balloon, can eventually be cooled down enough to become a liquid. It is the most fundamental stickiness in the entire universe. And this is where it gets absolutely amazing. A single one of these forces is, well, it's almost nothing. But look at a gecko. Its feet are covered in millions of microscopic hairs, creating this huge surface area. It's not one strong connection holding it to the wall. It's the combined power of billions of these tiny fleeting attractions that allows it to literally defy gravity. But what happens when that charge imbalance isn't temporary? What if it's actually a permanent feature of the molecule? Well, that brings us to our next force. With these kinds of molecules, that charge imbalance isn't temporary, it's permanent. So you should think of them like tiny little magnets. They have a permanent positive end and a permanent negative end. And as they're tumbling around, they're constantly trying to snap into alignment, positive to negative, holding on to each other. And you can really see the difference this makes. Look at methane and hydrogen sulfide. They're about the same size. But methane is nonpolar. It only has those weak, fleeting forces. To boil it, you only need to get to a frigid minus 160 degrees Celsius. But hydrogen sulfide, that's polar. Those permanent little magnets hold it together much more tightly. You have to heat it up over 100 degrees hotter just to get it to boil. Now that's the power of polarity. Okay, finally, we get to a special, kind of super-powered version of dipole-dipole forces that is, well, it's absolutely essential for life as we know it. So this happens when hydrogen pairs up with one of three very specific atoms, nitrogen, oxygen, or fluorine. These atoms are incredibly electron-hungry. They pull hydrogen's electrons so close to themselves that the hydrogen is left with this really strong positive charge. This creates a supercharged version of that dipole-dipole force. It's not a full-on chemical bond, but it's the strongest intermolecular attraction there is. It's basically life's superglue. And the impact of this one force, it's just staggering. It's the reason water is a liquid on our planet. It's why ice floats instead of sinks. But maybe most profoundly, the two strands of your DNA, the very blueprint of you, they're not held together by powerful chemical bonds. They're held together by millions of these relatively weak hydrogen bonds, perfectly balanced to be strong enough to be stable, but just weak enough to be unzipped and read. It is, quite literally, what makes you possible. So there you have it, a clear hierarchy of power. We go from the fleeting universal attraction that lets geckos climb walls to the permanent magnetism that explains why some things boil at much higher temperatures, all the way up to the superglue of hydrogen bonding that holds your very DNA together. Just 3 forces. That's really all it takes. 3 types of invisible attractions operating on a scale we can't even see that create the entire physical world that we can see and touch, from a gecko on a wall to the code of life inside your cells. So think about it. What if these forces were just 5% stronger? Would water be a solid at room temperature? Would DNA be fused together, unable to replicate? It's a really powerful reminder of just how delicately balanced our entire reality is. All of it, built on an invisible architecture. Thanks for watching.